What's going on, guys? Jesse504 here, bringing you all my APA Little Cup Wi-Fi Week 1 game, which is unfortunately a post-com because my brain potatoed and saw that my mic wasn't working, but then also decided not to fix it and figured it would just be working even though I saw it not working. If you want to ask about my thought process, don't. But yeah, we got a post-com. I haven't really done a post-com before, so I'll try to edit out a lot of the video watermarks and stuff, but I probably won't be perfect. So yeah. But anyways, week 1 we play Bick. Bick is the coach of the Westminster Weaviles, and we definitely had our work cut out for us because Bick is also getting prep support from my good friend Pinorska, which means that we got a really tough team to go against. And his main threats that I was scared of was Dwebble and Grookey. I think those two are probably the two scariest mons to me, just because Grookey grass spam very good. I was afraid of a Grassy Seed acrobatic set because I figured that's probably best way to hit Bulbasaur, but Life Orb could also be pretty scary. And then I was also afraid of Dwebble because it smashes, and I really have to be very, very physically defensive, frillish, and that's really my best way. But I already had used both my Eviolite slots in team building, so it was really tough to sort of prep for Dwebble that well. But as we moved to team preview, the main things that I was scared of were there in the Grookey and the Dwebble. And as you see, we got Scarf Vulpix with Weather Ball, Overheat, Energy Ball, Memento, Rindoberry, Frillish, which is calced to live a Wood Hammer from non-boosting item Grookey, because I do believe that it runs Grassy Seed here. And then Baltoy, which is Sash lead with Rock, Spin, Ice Beam, and Scorching Sands. We got Eevee Togepi, which is our Sandile check. We got Juice Archon, and then with Agility, and then we got Eevee Bulbasaur. Those are our 6. And as you can see, Bick brought the Stuffle, which I was a little bit underprepared for, if I had to say. He brought his one form of removal in the Rookity. He brought his Sandile, and he brought his best fire resist in Litten. And that those were the 6 that he decided to bring. But good luck, have fun to the man, and yeah, let's just get right into the battle. As you saw, I did go for my designated lead Baltoy, and he leads with the Sandile, which is probably the worst thing for him to lead. I figured I would just throw up my rocks, but then my brain was like, hold up. Your max speed Baltoy, if he Scarf Sandile, this play goes very, very poorly for you. But I don't think he is, just based on the fact that he let it. I feel like, because it didn't really have that good of a matchup, just because Togepi really, really shuts it down. So I figured Eevee Togepi will do its job, worst comes to worst. But he also reveals to be no Intim, so I figured some sweeper set, but I didn't think Scarf was the one. So as I take time contemplating this, I ultimately decide that my Rapid Spin is the play, as he does reveal to be Crunch and knock me to Sash, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, we just go down to Sash, which is chillin'. He gets the defense drop. We're at 1 HP, it does not matter at all. But yeah, we just get that big spin off, and the damage knocking me to Sash revealed adamant damage. At the time I didn't know, but just looking back at calcs, definitely I believe was adamant damage. So now I just fire off an Ice Beam here. I go ahead and do that. It's in range of Ice Beam now because Rapid's been put it in range. So as I fire off a big Ice Beam, we say goodbye to the Sandile, which is very good for keeping the rest of my team, specifically my Togepi, healthy, because now the Togepi, it doesn't have to check that Sandile. It's much more free to check something like Grookey. Something can probably take a hit from Dwebble. It can really is very good in the matchup as well with Eevee. That was a mon that I was considering not bringing and bringing Minccino over, but I figured the defensive presence of Togepi was going to be a little bit better. As he just goes Litten, I try to throw up my rocks. I am max speed Baltoy. So if he decides to try to fake me out, good play on his part. If he's not fake out, and I can potentially get up rocks, or he can reveal to be max speed or a speed tie with me. But he just fakes me out, which is good to reveal. I think it's a great bring with Sun matchup. But I just go out into, I believe, my Frillish walls. However, I think that Rock Blast was really free here because his switch-in is Stuffle, which then can come in and get Acrobatics. So I figured that Arkin was definitely my play. He shouldn't sack this Litten. However, Rock Blast was still my play. He just doesn't have a good resist to it. Because Stuffle obviously isn't the best resist. Especially if he's a very offensive Stuffle. If he's like defensive agility or defensive Stuffle, it could be an issue. But I contemplated going for the agility, but then ultimately decided that Rock Blast was just much freer. And I did an agility here just because it wasn't a win con for me yet, because Dwebble was still at sturdy, so it just really wasn't worth agilitying. Sorry. But we do see he makes the Stuffle play good on him, and we get 1 hit, 2 hits, and I keep praying. I'm like, if this gets 5 hits, that's guaranteed in acro range, which is perfect for me. We do live a Thunder or Ice Punch from this Stuffle, so we are chilling no matter what. So I'm like, let me get an acro. If your Scarf, reveal your Scarf, go ahead. But I just get the acro. It's safer, 100 accuracy, and more consistent power. And getting Scarf would be cool, or him revealing Scarf would be cool, because it not only puts me in double power acro range, but also it lets me, whatchamacallit, it lets me take care of this Mon and know where one of his potential Scarfs is. Obviously, I don't think he's dual Scarfers this week, because Scarf Grookey doesn't make sense, and I think he's going to want the Berry Juices and Evios in places. But here goes the Litten, or not the Litten, the Stuffle, which is great. We're now in a very good spot. I believe we're at 5-4, and this Arcan is really staring down emptiness. I don't really see a good resist on his end now. He's kind of forced to potentially like fake out Intim Cycle me with Litten, or to do something else, like Dwebble, which is ultimately his play. I don't know if I can agree with this play, I'm sorry, just because potentially having like 3 hits Rock Blast could be not ideal for you. Obviously a singular Rock Blast doesn't put him into juice range, but 2 would, which is kind of not ideal for you, because him in rock, or him, like, let's say if he ends this exchange with Sturdy Broken, then it's just really bad for him. However, he knows my Arcan isn't that bulky, especially because it's his own Eviolite. But I figured Rock Blast very free, potentially breaking Sturdy, ending him Sturdy Broken, or even just Juice Popped is fantastic for me. 1, 2, and then he gets his Juice. Like, and I was like, if I get 1 more hit, that's ideal. But unfortunately, the 5-hitter balances out with a 2-hitter here, and he goes for a Rock Blast. He doesn't smash in my face, thank God. And yeah, 2 Rock Blasts is enough to take out my little Arcan. So there he goes, unfortunately, but he put in enough work to the point where now Togepi's here to do its job very well, which is just take a hit. I probably should have gone Frillish in hindsight, but just the fact that he had Sturdy up really scared me. And here I'm able to bink a Thunder Wave on this Dwebble. I figured Thunder Wave prevents it from really like sweeping me. And obviously it can't break me without a Smash, so I figured Smash was 100% his best play. And he obviously does make the play, which is perfectly fine as I get my Thunder Wave off, which is also great. This really cripples this Mon, because now it's sitting at that 16 speed tier, which is fine. It means that my Vulpix can outspeed it, and we get the full para, which is incredible. As I just fire off a big D-Gleam, and now we can just fire off, another D-Gleam and potentially knock this Dwebble out. He goes for the Rock Blast and reveals that we would have been perfectly fine without T-Waving it, but he does get a 2-hitter, which is unfortunate for him, as we just fire off another big Gleam, and down goes this big threatening Dwebble. And here we're in a great spot. I think that Togepi is really just, its defensive utility is great here. Unfortunately, we don't really have a good Grookey pivot. That is one thing that just no team really has. And I wasn't ready to risk my Bulbasaur yet on the off chance that like he just went for a knockoff, fully expecting me to save my Togepi. But like, I feel like the mons that I wanted Togepi to check were Dwebble and Sandile, and to a lesser extent Stuffle. And those are all gone now, so I really just didn't see that much of a need for my Togepi, as he does send out his Grookey. I figured, why not just Flamethrower this mon on the off chance that he goes for something else. like a knockoff or even like a Drain Punch or something. I don't know what he'd be predicting for Drain Punch to come out, but something like that. Yeah, let's just see what exactly he wants to go for. Woodhammer is very free from his end, but I can understand if he didn't want to go for it. And also scouting info on this set, he reveals to not be Seed, and he goes for the Fake Out, putting me, I think, in guaranteed Woodhammer range. And he also reveals to be Life Orb with the good, I don't know if that was 19 HP, I don't think Ruby hits 19 HP, so we just get the Flamethrower off though, which is huge. Yeah, we just get a free Flamethrower, as he does just fire off a big Woodhammer. But the info of Life Orb, not Scarf, means that Vulpix is now really, really free. He doesn't have any reason on his roster right now for me to click Energy Ball. That was just there for Sobble. However, Weather Ball is super free. I just have to manage my Sun turns properly for the rest of this game. And Vulpix should go ham, because Litten dies to 3 subsequent Energy Balls, so... or 3 subsequent Weather Balls, no matter its set, and so this should be able to clean it up. He does switch his Grookey out, good play, really was necessary. Goes out into the Litten, and I get to scout this Mon, see if it is Eevio or Berry Juice. Doesn't really change anything, just because it would just juice back up to full after this Weather Ball. And he reveals to be Eevio, and that I don't believe is quite range for Overheat, so I would rather not risk it. And when I have my Frillish still right there, which is perfectly fine, this Mon Frillish kind of goes in versus Big's team. Now, with what's left, we obviously have the Rindo Berry, and we even get that nice Fake Out immunity. I fully expect a Crunch to come out here, but I figured Sludge Wave might catch the Grookey, just coming in hard. So I figured why not go for it. Got a little bit aggressive, but I figured there was no reason not to, as he does Crunch me for 11 out of 25 health and gets the defense drop, which is perfectly fine. But we Cursed Body the Crunch, which is nice. It's really big. At this point, I contemplate going for Recover or not. My thought process is I don't really need to recover, because I kind of just like have to sack this Mon off and win in the Sun with my last 2. So I figure probably just want to fire off another Sludge Wave here, as he does go for the Parting Shot, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, now my Frillish is very weak. Had I recovered there, I would have needed to pivot something into a Grookey Woodhammer, I believe, which wouldn't be ideal, or a Grookey knockoff potentially, because I do believe we're in knockoff range, and we've revealed not Colbur. However, he goes right out into this big Rookity, and I am just able to fire off a Sludge Wave, which is perfectly fine. And then I get to not max, but just Shadow Ball potentially, as he goes for the Tailwind, which is a good bring on his end. But my Frillish kind of sat here for much longer than it's deserved to. We go for Shadow Ball. Obviously, Rookity is the first little bird to be pure flying instead of normal flying, which is huge. Means that I can Shadow Ball it. Now that weather is gone, I am now free to Scald. However, I think it's in his best interest to just kill me off here, which he does by going for Brave Bird, which is actually quite good info to know. And he's also looks very bulky, and we do disable the Brave Bird, which is huge. That kind of sucks for him. These Cursed Body procs have been really, really good for me. Now I got into my Bulbasaur, and I can just click a free Sludge Bomb, really get me a kill, pretty much. Whatchamacallit, Vulpix should be able to win this endgame with Fire Move at this point. Litten is in range almost. However, if he does get Grassy Terrain up, then I need to hit 3 Fire Moves on it as opposed to 2. And here comes the Grookey. Perfectly fine. We just get that Mon to drop to a Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb was a perfect little move to click here. Obviously perfect into the rest of the team. And there goes the Grookey. And then from this range, since we are EVO Bulbasaur, we should be able to live a Brave Bird from the Rookity. He does have Tailwind still up, which is perfectly fine by me. Just stalling out Tailwind is perfect. I just don't want him to be able to get it up again. He Brave Birds me. Tailwind would have expired this turn, so ultimately us living doesn't really make a difference too much. However, what it does do is make it so he can't fake me out, because fake out into Flare Blitz had potential to kill from the Litten, I believe. Although he would have needed a crit Flare Blitz, I think is what it needed, but I think crit Flare Blitz would have worked regardless. And there goes the Tailwind from his side, which means that we now are able to pretty much guaranteed win with the Vulpix. We just got to connect 2 Weather Balls on this Mon, and he doesn't have a turn to fake out because we obviously have Bulbasaur in. And he Flare Blitzes, which doesn't really matter because he'll get back to 1 HP in grassy terrain. So we just got to go out into our Vulpix after this. Click our Weather Ball. I actually sat there for a second and thought about it. What gives me a higher chance to win? And I figured, you know what, I might miss the overheat. And scrolling down has the potential to also like lock me into scrolling infinitely, which isn't ideal. Because if I accidentally click Memento, I'm fucked. So I just gotta click the Weather Ball here. Actually gives me the highest chance of winning, because the only lose chance I have is a crit compared to overheat, which the lose chance is a miss, 10% compared to I believe like 4.5%, something like that. So I just had to take my crit chance and hopefully not get crit, and we Weather Ball, and he barely lives. The grassy terrain really came in clutchy, otherwise he would have just dropped that, given out. However, not clicking Flare Blitz meant that we would have guaranteed live through the crit. Flare Blitz, I'm pretty sure, did more and had the chance to kill with a crit. And I just get to click the Weather Ball again, and good game to my man Bick. Very, very close game. I think I didn't play that well. I played kind of sloppy, but ultimately a win is a win, and we're going to need those early season because the strength of Little Cup Wi-Fi this season is very strong. So I got to kind of deal with that. And next week we do take on Tone, who suffered a tough loss week 1, so he's going to be obviously looking to bounce back. And we were able to win 1-0 against my man Bick. It was a great game, very tight, like I said. I think I could have played better, but ultimately a win is a win. And so I hope you guys enjoyed and weren't bothered too much by this post-com. And yeah, until next time, Jesse504, out. Peace.